Hello everyone, welcome back to RetroComms. Today I'm going to be showing you how to remove this disgusting, sticky, soft touch plastic from your devices. Now, this is what I believe to be a Motorola V540, but it's not just this model of phone that had it. Several Blackberries had it, the Moto Q series. There were even some gaming peripherals that had it. And these methods should work for any device with this soft touch plastic. Now, if it just came with it from the factory and it hasn't deteriorated, that's fine. It's not a problem. Like the back of this isn't too worrisome. I can see that it's starting to get that way, but it's not there yet. But this has to be fixed. And I will show you exactly how to do that. The first thing you're going to want to do is figure out how to disassemble the device, or at least remove the affected parts of the housing. Now, I've worked on this phone before, or a similar model, and these 4 little rubber feet conceal some screws that we will need to take this front panel off. Because the method that I'm going to use involves a liquid, and you do not want to submerge an electronic device in liquid. Now, let's see if I can remove those feet. To remove those feet, I'm just going to come in with my flathead screwdriver and find the edge and lift up. Now that shouldn't damage the little rubber feet, but if they do get damaged or if you lose one, it's not a huge deal. Detracts from the waterproofing of the phone a little bit, but most of these old flip phones did not have IP ratings to begin with, so you won't be losing out if something does happen to one of these feet. Try to keep them if you can, though, to preserve the original look and feel of the phone. Now, where did one of my feet go? I'll find it eventually. Now, you look and see, those appear to be small Torx screws. Motorola has typically used Torx screws in their phone, and the T6 or Torx 6 bit is a very common one. So that's the bit that I'm going to try to use to remove these, and it feels like it works. If I can quit being butterfingers today. Kind of hard to do this when you've got soft touch sticking to your hands. So I recommend, if you can possibly do it, wear gloves if you're working on something that's covered in deteriorated soft touch plastic. This is most unpleasant to touch. It's out. Now the bottom left. That should come up. And the top left. Now that all the screws are loosened, we can start trying to remove this upper shell. And to do that, let's use a metal spudger. Now, the things to be mindful here are at the top of this, near the hinge, we don't want to risk severing the main ribbon cable that connects the screen and the motherboard. We don't want to pry too deep around the sides either due to the screens. So I like to start just somewhere along the side, if I can help it. I might have to start at the bottom on these phones, or maybe the top. Nope, I can just start right here. Now this should come away on this model pretty easily because I have disassembled this phone once before you don't want to see what the original front housing that came on this looks like. This is actually the product of two donor phones. It actually came from two different phones. One good one. The one with the best looking housing had a damaged motherboard. Ooh, this housing piece appears to be broken. I'll have to use a little bit of adhesive to fix that. Now, I'm going to put this phone off to the side. I am going to take its battery cover though, because it is showing some signs that the soft touch on it is deteriorating. If I can grasp it to take it off of there. This stuff don't play around. I just use my spudger. Now if that latch is... There we go. Now, I'm just going to put this phone off to the side for the time being. And now I have the two pieces I need to worry about. Here's a container of 91% isopropyl alcohol. You can find this at Walgreens or any medical supply store. It's best to use on electronics. The higher the percentage, the better. Now, I had this container prepared for another project I was working on. It had sat overnight. This stuff evaporates quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and dispense some more of that in there. Make sure all the sides are covered. Might as well just use the rest. And that's all. Need to get a new bottle. Stuff comes in handy for my projects. Now, I've got that. Bathing. Like to say that the parts are taking a little bath. And I put the battery cover in too. And this also works for getting the soft touch residue off of your fingers. Now don't worry, this stuff is... Now don't drink it, but it's not going to kill you if you touch it. It won't hurt you at all if you touch it. But don't ingest it. Well, I will leave this for a couple hours. And then we will finish with this demonstration. And hopefully my phone will be looking almost brand new. And after several hours of sitting relatively undisturbed, we are ready to clean these housing pieces. The isopropyl alcohol should have loosened the bond between the soft touch plastic and the phone's housing. As I rub this piece with my cotton swab, the soft touch will peel off. These parts have been sitting for about 7 hours, so it doesn't surprise me that it's coming off so easily. The longer you leave your part sitting, the easier it will be. 7 hours seems to do the trick. If you don't leave it long enough, you may have to scrape at it, and it's better to put the pieces back in for a few hours than to risk scratching up your device. This also helps to sanitize the device and move any dead skin or bacteria that still may be hanging around, especially in the speaker ports. Soft touch on the battery cover hasn't deteriorated as much, but with a little bit of pressure from my cotton swab, it'll come away. I'm able to pretty much peel it off in one sheet. Be mindful of areas with details, edges, like the Motorola logo here in the center. This stuff is pretty disgusting. I imagine an octopus's tentacles would feel the same way. Check over all parts before reassembly. And my phone's flash just shut off. Need to charge the battery. You might want to clean the phone itself to get rid of any sticky residue left behind. Isopropyl alcohol will do well for this. Might want to dip your fingers in it to prevent any more from transferring. Putting some on a paper towel and rubbing the device works too. The rough texture of the paper towel helps remove the sticky stuff. Something to keep in mind when working with isopropyl is that you might want to work over a folded paper towel or something to avoid getting it on your table, especially if it's made out of wood that has been painted or stained. This stuff can dissolve certain types of paints and leave white spots, and I don't want my advice to lead to anyone messing up their work tables. Now it's time for reassembly. I'll pop that front housing back into place, screw in all the screws, and put the rubber feet back on. They can be a little tough to get back into place, but I managed. I'll give the device a final wipe down with my paper towel, and this is the final result. A clean, not sticky, little roll of V540. Like I said earlier, this technique should work for any device. I hope this video was helpful for you and that you enjoyed it. As usual, check out the links down in the description. This is RetroComs signing off.